What's going on, my good people? My name is Kyle. I go by the rap name Kyle Breeze. I usually post rap music on this channel, but today we're going to be talking about 3 tips I have for college freshmen. And this is going to be the 4th installment of my Sundays with Me series, where I go over quotes and lifestyle topics that hopefully you find interesting and engaging and positive, and hopefully get you off to a good start for the week. So today is going to be a pretty different day. I'm going to start with the topic of the video instead of the quote, and I'm going to do the quote at the end. I guess I'm going to try this format from now on. We're just going to start with the topic and then go into the quote. So today's topic is 3 tips for college freshmen. Now, these tips, I'm going to try to make them based off of my experience that I had my freshman year of college. Of course, I have the general tips that people give are givens, right? Like, don't take 8 a.m.s if you can help it. Don't take classes super late in the day if you can help it. Pay very close attention to billing deadlines and financial aid information, because there have been some stories that people have told about money they've had to pay because they didn't do something right. They didn't hit that, they didn't opt out of the student health insurance or what have you. So pay attention to that stuff. Of course, those tips are a given, but I'm going to try to give some tips based off more specific experiences I had in college. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to take too much of your time. So 3 tips I have for college freshmen. So the first tip: it is okay to not be okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a very pessimistic video already, but I feel that this is a very important tip because you probably heard this phrase so many times, right? College, you could probably fill in the blanks. College is going to be the blank blank of your life. Best time is what the blanks are. But generally speaking, a lot of people will tell you that. And while it is true that college is a very fun and interesting time, it's a time where you probably, unless you go back for your master's, and really undergrad is a lot different from a master's program. Undergrad is a very unique experience, like really once in a lifetime. That first undergrad, that was the first time getting a bachelor's degree, and a lot can happen all at once. For me, when I came into college, I was carrying baggage with me based off experiences I had back home. And my freshman year, a very tragic event happened in my family. And everyone was just around, doing the selfies on Instagram and, just sort of breezing around through the dining hall. Some people would look stressed. Some people would look like they were having the time of their lives. Every weekend, I would just be thinking to myself, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not having the perfect college experience? Because a lot of people will tell you that college is supposed to be the best time of your life. But my advice to you is to really focus on the things that you were dealing with before you even came to college. Focus on that path that you were going on and learning about yourself, because any mental obstacles that you are facing back home will not magically dissipate when you get to college. In fact, if I could go back to my freshman year and talk to myself, I just remember just panicking one night on account of an event that happened in my family. I just remember literally laying down and just panicking out of nowhere. If I could talk to myself then, I would probably say go to the counseling center a bit earlier than I did. That's another thing I want to branch off of this tip, is don't be afraid to go to the counseling center. And I wanted to start this video like this because having a healthy mindset is going to be the gateway to having a great college experience. I couldn't even open up to my roommate when I first got to college, and he's such a good guy. He's like my brother. And it took a minute for us to get to that point, even though in his mind, we were just chilling, like we were just boys already. And having such a great roommate like that, such a genuine and sincere guy, such a nice guy, really helped me my freshman year. And I'm grateful for the great person that he is. But I do wish I had spent more time really sitting down with myself and wondering, why am I this cynical? I made everybody out to be the villain. I was also kind of bitter because I got waitlisted twice from my first choice school, and I just was very bitter about the different aspects, the different facets of my life that seemed like they weren't coming together. And then with a tragic event in my family, it just sort of piled on top of everything. So I would say definitely take some time to learn about yourself. Don't jump into clubs or organizations too quickly. And definitely just make sure you take care of your mental health. I mean, I guess that's the best way to say it. Don't be afraid to go to the counseling center. Don't be afraid to talk to some trusted sources to get help with anything that you may be dealing with. And don't belittle yourself. Don't treat your problems as if they're insignificant because everyone's telling you that college is supposed to be the best time of your life, right? Because there are going to be some days where you don't want to hear that and you don't want to believe it. And treat those days with care, treat yourself with care, and really take the steps to love yourself. So it's okay to not be okay. But definitely take the steps to try to have a great experience, because it really is a time you should cherish. The next tip I have is the earlier the better. Now, I was just saying, you should wait to jump in clubs or organizations. You should give yourself time to get acclimated to the college environment. So in my opinion, right, like, if you're in an honor society or something like that, or if you're in honors college, that's going to be different for you. But in my opinion, I'm glad I didn't join any clubs or organizations during my first semester of my freshman year of college. If I had it my way, nobody would join any clubs or organizations until their second semester of their freshman year. Now, you don't want to wait too late, but in my opinion, I think that if you spend your first semester of freshman year just getting acclimated and just focusing on classes and literally not doing anything but classes, and if you have a job, if you have to work, then work. If you don't have to work, I wouldn't suggest that either, but I know some people have financial situations where they do have to work and they really don't have a choice. And I completely respect that and understand that, but I would say if you could focus on your classes your first semester of your freshman year, then do that. But the earlier the better, right? Like, I will add this addendum to what I was saying about waiting. I wish I had started my on-campus job earlier, because, for example, in that situation, if I had started my on-campus job a little earlier in my college career, for one, I would have had a job, like, I would have had a consistent job. I probably would have never went to Harris Teeter, where I worked for one summer and then worked there a semester and one fall semester. But I probably would have never even went to Harris Teeter if I had went ahead and got my on-campus job. On-campus jobs, if you can get an on-campus job, do that, because on-campus jobs will work with you. They will be much nicer to you in regard to your schedule. It's just a lot better, a lot more seamless of a process to get them to work with you than somebody out in the community. And I wish I had got my on-campus job earlier, because we picked our hours according to seniority. So there I was, my junior year, without a car, living off campus, and I had to sort of use the shuttle service. Thankfully, I drove vans for a service for students at my college, where we would drive students around to certain spots around the city and to certain areas around campus. So the job could take me to and from work sometimes, but sometimes I had a tough time getting to and from, and I had like very weird hours, because we picked our hours according to seniority. So when I first started my job my junior year, here I am, I'm a junior, and like it didn't even matter that I had that, because we picked hours according to who came to the job first and who had been working there the longest. So I had these weird weekend hours. I couldn't stand it, like working Friday night. It was the worst. But if I had went to that job earlier in my college career, then I would have gotten that out of the way sooner. And that's just one example of why I wish I had started working there earlier. Also, it was just a really good job. And I wish I had started that earlier, because I was looking for a job as soon as my sophomore year to go ahead and start earning money. And if I had had that job, it would have been a breeze. So look for on-campus jobs, and the earlier the better. Also, I wish I had joined the fraternity I joined earlier, the honor fraternity I joined, because I just would have had more experiences in the honor fraternity. I feel that the experience I had was very special, and I'm grateful for it. But I do wish that I had came in a little bit earlier, because I would have had even more experiences and more time to get to know everybody. And so I would just say, your second semester of your freshman year, start looking for those clubs too, because a lot of clubs will accept they don't accept freshmen your first semester because you don't have any hours yet, and you don't have a GPA to prove that you can get into certain clubs. But once you get your GPA, your second semester of your freshman year, that's when a lot of clubs will start accepting freshmen. You know, usually as a freshman, you can't join certain clubs before your second semester of freshman year. So second semester of freshman year, I would say start looking for clubs and orgs to join. And don't join 10 organizations. You don't have to join 10. I would say, honestly, to start out, and really throughout college, join a club for leisure and join one for your major. You know, start looking for those two, and then anything you think you can add on top of that, anything you feel you can add on top of that, you can go ahead and do that. But I would say take it a bit slow at first. Don't join 10, because you will burn out like that. I'm telling you, don't put yourself in that situation. If you're an introvert, you know, Google the clubs you're gonna go try to join before you even go to the interest meeting. Because for me, I was like, I had to know all the information, because I'm such an introvert, and I'm very sort of standoffish if I go to a big interest meeting and there are a ton of people there. Like, so just try to do as much research as you can, and go with a friend or your roommate if you and hopefully your roommate is a friend. But you know, go with them if you know you're nervous about joining a club or organization, and just try to do it together. I mean, it'd be more fun that way too. So the earlier the better, but don't do things too early, in my opinion. And the last tip I have, this video is already getting pretty long, but the last tip I have is to get out of your dorm. Okay, so I did pretty well my freshman year. I think I ended the year with like a 3.7 or 3.8 GPA. I think it was a 3.7. Maybe it was 3.67, but it was decent, right? Like, I did decent my freshman year in total, and I think I did so well compared to I saw some people that weren't doing so well. Some people left college because they just didn't like it. I think the best thing I did for myself was I went to the library pretty frequently to get work done, and then when I came back to my dorm, I was just ready to chill and watch TV and have fun. Psychologically, getting into the routine of getting out of your dorm to do homework will be good for you, because you don't want to work in a space that you sleep and watch TV in, because you're going to be tempted to do those things when you try to do your work. It's always good to sort of mix up the space that you do your work in compared to where you spend most of your leisure time. And I would say that the best thing you could probably do is build up a routine of going to the library to do your classwork and your homework. Now, you can go to the library, you know, after class some days. You don't have to go every day, but I would say definitely build up a routine of like getting out of your dorm and studying in a space that is not your dorm. And I would also say another part of getting out of your dorm is, you know, walk around campus and get acclimated to the environment and go see people, right? Like, it's so easy to get in this routine of going into your dorm and just sort of closing the door and hiding away, but you're going to miss out on meeting so many special people. I met some of the best people when I was just walking around campus just randomly. One day I went out and I was taking pictures on my phone, just very like nature pictures. I don't even remember why I was doing it. I think I was doing it for like a video or for music or something. I think I was doing like a video for, I forgot exactly why I was doing it, but I met this really cool guy. Turns out he had like a whole Instagram where he was a dancer. He was a really good dancer too. I don't know the style of dancing that he was doing, but it was like he would make it look like he was like a machine, and it was just so cool. And I never would have met him if I didn't go out and just take those nature pictures, you know. So you never know who you can meet. And the worst was like when I would meet people like my senior year, like, man, why didn't I meet you earlier, you know? And I was just thinking to myself, people that were in my major, I was just thinking to myself, like, I probably would have met you if I had got out a little bit more. So definitely get out of your dorm and get in a habit of not holding up in your dorm room and sort of blocking yourself from the amazing experiences that you could have in college. So yeah, those are my 3 tips for college freshmen, and really those could be used throughout your college career. And I hope you do have a great experience. Like I said, I didn't mean to be pessimistic or anything. I want to be realistic about things, and I hope you have a great college experience. And so I do want to end this video with a quote. The Sundays with Me quote for this week is coming from Alice Coltrane, legendary jazz musician. Alice Coltrane, she paints these very immersive soundscapes influenced by many different sounds, embellished by harp playing. Alice Coltrane is just such a wonderful jazz musician, and she has such great music. Check out Alice Coltrane. And her quote today is, "When you quiet your mind, you can enter a world of clarity, peace, and understanding." That is such a beautiful quote, because your mind is always active, and it's always good to sit down with yourself and examine the thoughts that sort of run through, and also to halt those thoughts, just to gain control over your psyche and your perspective on the world. Because everything will move very fast. Even how we were talking about college, I didn't know what Greek life was when I came to college. I didn't know a lot. I didn't even know for sure what major I would have when I came to college. And the major I came in with is not the major I have now. And I forgot to say, I pretty much finished college at this point. So, but looking back, yeah, this is definitely a quote that relates to my college experience. Definitely take control of your perspective on the world, and learn what you can. It's okay to be intimidated. It's okay to, be a little bit hesitant to do some things, but don't get comfortable with being uncomfortable in certain situations. Push yourself, because you never know what special experiences are waiting for you if you never put yourself in safe and exciting environments to get to those experiences. So quiet your mind and really understand who you are and why you do the things you do. Quiet those sort of intrusive thoughts that flow through the mind all day involuntarily. Learn how to take control of those sometimes, and learn how to sort of utilize your brain's capacity for thoughts and for awareness, to understand why you are what you are, and to try to understand what you want out of life. These things will not be obvious at first, and they really won't be. I mean, they're not obvious to me, and I'm, it's a continual learning experience, college is, and life is, and the more you can sit down with yourself and learn about yourself, with a point of diminishing returns, right? Like, you have to get out into the world and absorb in order to radiate, but definitely take some time to sit with yourself and learn about yourself and get comfortable with loving yourself. So that's the video for today. Thank you for watching this Sundays with me. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you are positive and safe and loved wherever you are, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you for watching.